Hey, this is Edithson Abelard from Passion 47, and this is part 2 of our proximity video. Now, in the previous video, I showed you how you can calculate distance in a very efficient way. In this video, I'm going to talk about how you now apply that more specifically to what God Immortal was asking, increasing the volume based off of the distance. So I'm going ahead and just added 2 audio clips. We still have the player target, nothing else has changed. I've added audio and a volume in there. And if I look at the code now, let's talk about this volume property. First thing I'm going to do is talk to you a little bit about percentages, right? So if we have, let's say this mid-range is 10. We're going to give it a simple number. And we know once this mid-range is greater than, or in this case, if dx is less than the mid-range times itself. So let's say our value is 10, right? So once dx is less than 100, I'll slow that down because 10 times 10 is 100. But really what we're thinking of is just smaller numbers, 10. So let's say this dx number now is 9. So we know it's less than what our mid-range is, right? You can think of it as it's 90% of the total value, right? And then when it gets to 5, it's half of the total value, 5 divided by 10. And so we just bring that number down, and what that'll give us is that'll give us a percentage of, from our mid-range value all the way to 0. So for those who are less mathematically inclined, which I was for a very, very long time, until I started putting art and math together, and then finally things started making sense. Uh, let's just go right into an example. So if I set this volume property to dx divided by, which is all we're doing is just taking this value, so I'm just going to copy it. Now, just for keepsake, I like my math to make sense, so we're just going to throw these in parentheses, so this happens first and not the division. And then if we go back into Unity and we hit play, now if I look at our target, I just want to make sure this is locked. If I look at our target, I grab our player, I'm just going to slide this in. Now we're going to wait for the volume to start changing. Now you can see the volume is set at, it's at 0.98, and then it'll keep going down as we get closer to our target. And if I move our target around, you can see it doesn't matter what angle you come in at. The closer I get to the target, the lower the number becomes, which is great because now we get a percentage. Once we get to that midpoint, we get a percentage of the value between the, really the delta between the difference between the target and the player's distance. The only thing is God Immortal said he wants to increase the volume as you get closer for this particular example. And so the way we can fix this is some really simple math. If I come here and instead of setting this to volume directly, what I can do is just do 1 minus this equation. And what this does is if I just quickly open up Unity again, what this does is, remember when this volume was going down in numbers, and it was always between 0 and 1-ish, right? And so what this is going to do is give us 1 as the number as we get closer to the value. So you can see because it's being minus, it's like 1 minus 0.9, so that gives us 0.1, which is really what we want. We want this to go up in value as time goes on. As you can see, now we're close-ish to 1. And once again, same thing. This is strictly off of distance. It doesn't matter what angle you're coming from. Now, as you can imagine, all we have to do now is just grab one of these sounds. And I already have a sound clip in there. Volume is set to 0 because that's going to happen dynamically, and mid-range is set to 2. We can change this mid-range to anything. This will stay dynamic. So if we want to make this 5 and we want to make this 10, no problem. Math will still work the same. So if I go ahead and jump into our script, let's worry about our volume settings now. So now we have this audio. I just named it audio You don't have to name order. You can name it clip if you want to. And by default, I'm setting it to 0. Setting the volume to 0 because we just don't want to hear it. Now there are things you can do in here. Make sure it's not playing. But we're just going to keep this simple so we can just jump right in. Because prototyping is all about getting it to work. We can clean it up all later. So we can say audio volume is equal to volume. I'll move this in a second. And that's really it. Once we set this equal to volume and we hit play in Unity, just make sure our audio clip is set up correctly. Alright, we'll make it play on awake and loop. What is live demos? Which is probably not playing because I didn't tell it to play on awake first. So let's do that. This should automatically be set to 0. There we go. A little retro music there. So we're going to leave this at 0 because we know we're not close enough. So I'm going to grab our player. Right? We're going to keep our target locked. I'm just going to lock it up there. Grab our player and we're going to start moving it. And once we get to the 5 area, which is going to give us a value of 25 over here for the DX, you'll start to hear it. There we go. That's me. And as I get further away, you can see the volume starts to diminish. Now this is pretty much the same thing you get with the Doppler effect, but you know, sometimes you just need to, you just want to force this in a game. And I think this is one of the ways that we can go ahead and do it. And so I hope this helped out and it made a lot of sense. I'm actually not done with this. I will do a few more videos because I think we can have some real fun, and I can show you some really advanced techniques with this. So in the next couple of videos, what we'll do is go into some editor scripting, because as much as I love seeing these numbers like this, I don't like when designers mess things up, and as a designer and a CG artist myself, I know I tend to just like to change things. But as a developer, I hate when that happens. So, so we're going to fix my complex by doing some editor scripting. The other thing I want to do is I want you to visually see the distance. See, right now we're just playing around and moving this. I want to have some visual cues so you know when you're going to reach that area, and when you're in the area of the other video. And we're going to go into a little more detail about how we can optimize this so that we can use this for multiple clips, as well as do this range thing without having to duplicate code. So, God Immortal, I hope this helped out. Like I said, I'm going to keep releasing these videos. I'm going to do one every couple of days or so. And I hope you enjoyed it. This is Edithson Abelard. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to me. We're busy putting in work for something I think you guys will really, really enjoy. So pretty much why I've been quiet. I'm going to stay a little quiet for just a little longer until we can release it. But if you're looking at the project names, you'll have a clue of some of the more advanced videos that are going to be coming out soon. So Edithson Abelard, I'm out.